Alright, you lot, strap in, shut up, and breathe through your nose. Because this week, we're taking a meat cleaver to FPS genre. Lighting Battlefield 6 on fire just to roast clowns who want to sue EA. And oh yeah, Orwell's ghost just DM'd me from beyond and said, "Told you so." We've got Heartbreak, horror games, Pringles warfare, Twonk's crying about camo, and Pokémon fandom that's gone full terminal. You ask questions, I've got answers, and someone's getting their ego carved like a Sunday roast. This is Hey Scotty, podcast that swears too much, makes too much sense, and gives too few fucks. Let's get started. First up, some of your questions. This first question comes from Asian Persuasion, who asks, "Hey Scotty, how you feel about FPS scene right now? A lot of competition and some good looking games coming out. I really do hope gaming space gets better and goes back to roots of just having fun and hanging out with mates. I hope you're having a great day, my man." Asian, you legend. I'm having a good one, mate. Hope you are too. Proper thoughtful, that. Right, let's fucking dive into this FPS madness like we've just spawned in with a knife and no grenades. How am I feeling about FPS scene? Like a pissed off war vet who's seen too many sequels and not enough soul. It's a bloody circus right now. You've got shiny new games flying out of devs' asses every month. Half of them look great and sound great, and then they drop and it's like shagging a blow-up doll with a hole in it. All promise, no satisfaction. Big dogs, COD and Battlefield, yeah, they're still lumbering about like two old lads who peaked at high school but keep trying to relive glory days. COD's got more reboots than a dodgy Windows PC, and Battlefield finally got its bollocks back with Battlefield 6. Feels like it remembered how to have a good scrap again. It's a miracle. You can actually jump in, take piss, get in a tank, crash it in a house, have a laugh with your mates, and not feel like you're being forced to grind some battle pass like it's a second job. But let's not pretend it's all roses and reach-arounds. Most of these new games, flashy trailers, zero substance. Some don't even get chance cause marketing's shite, or they got buried under algorithmic fuckery of modern gaming media. Ones that deserve love are getting ghosted out of a Tinder match with commitment issues. You're spot on though, mate. Social side of it's gone to dogs. Used to be you've met mates from bloody everywhere. I had a Japanese lad on Lost Planet show me how to wall jump like a ninja with ADHD. Sat in chats with Yanks and Canadians, off our tits on Red Bull and cheap whiskey, planning operations in SOCOM like we're SAS, building clan rivalries, proper communities, and then boom, rematch died. MLG came in and shoved its esports dick in every direction, and fun just evaporated. That's all influencers and brand deals. Use code SHAGME10 for 10% off my personality. You don't meet people anymore in FPS games. You get matched with some mute kid who rage quits if you don't drop him your loot in Warzone. Genre's got social life for hermit with VPN. And fuck me if Sony ain't sitting on a gold mine of nostalgia and just sniffing their own farts instead of giving us SOCOM back. That game taught teamwork better than Army. And MAG, 256 players on a battlefield. That were absolute chaos and we loved it. Imagine that now with solid netcode and no PS3 to hold it back. But nah, let's just get another Last of Us remaster instead, eh? FPS needs a soul transplant, mate. Less look at our skins and more remember why you fell in love with this genre. Less live service bollocks and more community. Fun's not dead, just buried under a pile of microtransactions and broken promises. Anyway, cheers for the question, mate. That were a good scream into the void. Let's hope someone out there's listening. Preferably not some Activision exec with NFTs in his eyes. This next one comes from SilverBullet90, who asks, "Hey Scotty, how do you play games with one hand on a controller without snapping it? Also, what are your takes on a long-distance relationship that has been going for 4, almost 5 years, and just a week ago one finally flies to other's place? I'm having my doubts, but I also adore this person I'm visiting." Right, first up, playing one-handed. Look, it's all about technique, not muscle. Don't treat controller like it owes you money. I used to snap analog sticks just from rage alone, but now I just accept chaos. I map important shit closer together. Use back buttons like I'm playing a piano and ignore alt that's not mission critical. People cry in me inbox cause I don't use me ult in X-Defiant. Mate, if I had a quid for every time someone messaged, "Why didn't you pop your ability?" I'd have enough to buy a decent controller that don't feel like it were made out of Poundland plastic. Answer's dead simple. I only got one thumb and a plan, and my plan is shoot, duck, reload, repeat. Everything else is a luxury. Fun over frags, every time. Now, Let's move on to spicy meatball. 4. Almost 5 years in a long-distance relationship, and now you're facing reality of being in the same postcode. It's not beat about bush here. This is where fantasy meets flatulence. Magic of missing each other turns into sharing a bathroom and realising the snore like a dying lawnmower. First off, respect, mate. You made it this far. That's rare as fuck. But you're having doubts. And doubts are like wet socks. You can ignore them for a bit, but eventually they'll start to stink. Now, if them doubts are about them, like maybe sparks dimmed or your gut screaming, this ain't right, then for love of sanity, don't play happy couple just cause you feel like you've put in time. 5 years or 5 months. If feelings are gone, don't trap yourself in a life that's going to slowly bleed your joy dry. You'll resent each other, and that's a shittier ending than a cliffhanger on a cancelled Netflix show. But if it's not them, if it's fear of giving up your old life, your comfort, your mates, your kebab shop that knows your order before you even walk in, then I get it. That's real. Change is a bastard. But sometimes you've got to step into unknown, grow a pair, get a proper shot. Because if there is love, and you're just scared, that's natural. Best things in life come right after you nearly shit yourself from anxiety. I've been there, mate. I left my old life, my town, my mates, moved for love, had kids, built a family. It fell apart eventually, yeah, but would I undo it? No, not a chance. Because even in heartbreak, I found purpose. I found out where I could survive, and who I really was. And now I've got a life that's mine, built from scratch, battle-tested, still full of love, just a different kind. See it? Boiled down version. Yorkshire gospel. Be honest, brutally honest. If you don't love them, let them go. If you do love them, but you're scared, then hold on tight and jump in. Life's too bloody short to sit on fence with a sore ass. Thanks for real talk, Silver Bullet. Whatever you decide, make sure it's true to you. I wrote friendly arsonist 9195. You bloody legend. He asks, what's word in gaming world? Oh mate, buckle fucking. Cause this week, word is twonkery. And not garden variety forgot to reload type of twonkery either. I'm talking Olympic level, grade A, pants on head, lawsuit dreaming, subreddit meltdown style twonkery. Let's talk about Session Shot 3682, our freshly crowned twonker week. This lad had a great go at Battlefield 6, fired up legal furnace aimed square at Electronic Arts, and then promptly deleted his post, his account, and probably his dignity along with it. But guess what, sunshine? I saw it, I screenshotted it, and now you're immortalised in all your rage-fueled glory. Let's unpack his steaming pile of keyboard warrior fury. First he kicks off with false advertising about portal servers. Claims every game copy should come with its own persistent server. Every copy? That's like buying a sausage roll and expecting a fucking oven to come with it. EA said you'd get persistent servers, yeah, if you're not taking piss and spawning 50 per account like a digital rabbit orgy. People abused it. Servers got jammed. It's called consequences. Don't blame devs cause people play games like it's get rich quick scheme. Then he cries about XP nerfs. Says Portal got gutted. Progression's dead if you use bots. Yeah, cause XP farming COD gremlins came over. Built servers that basically play themselves. And leveled up faster than a crackhead in Trampoline Park. Devs had to slam brakes. Otherwise, progression would have meant fuck all. You can still earn XP, just not with bots doing naught work. And if that ruins game for you, you weren't playing it, you were harvesting it, like a greedy little Ferengi with a controller. And then bless him, he threatens a review bomb like it's 2007 and he's still got hope. Reposting other subreddits, list all issues. Mate, please. You couldn't even keep your own account alive, let alone start a rebellion. It's Battlefield, not bloody Twitter drama. You can whine all you want, but rest of us are out here riding tanks through skyscrapers, laughing our tits off while jets crash into objectives. This is what I'm on about, Pyro. This is state of gaming world. We've got amazing games, finally getting back to fun, proper multiplayer madness, and people still find time to cry over XP mechanics like it's end of days. I've said it before and I'll scream it from rooftops at Orbital. Gamers are gonna game, devs are gonna dev. You can sue all you like, but you can't litigate your way into being better at game. So congrats again to Session Shot 3682. Hero we didn't need, twonk we deserve. And to everyone else, stop acting like EA's your ex who owes you money. Chill your biscuits, get in fucking game, and remember, it's just pixels and pew-pews. Let's keep it fun. And that leads me nicely into Battlefield camo drama. Great fabric-based feud of 2025. Christ almighty, this has become less of a discussion and more of a cosplay cage match. Let's break this down proper. On left side, we got Too Boring Brigade. These are folks who expect every loadout to look like it's been dipped in radioactive sherbet and farted out of Fortnite llama. On right side, we've got Nut Grounded Mob, demanding every pixel be vetted by MOD and double checked by Ghost Recon Jesus himself. And me? I'm sat here in middle with a pint, telling a lot of you, shut fuck up, it's a video game. But let's address both ends of this bickering pantomime. First to bland and boring crowd, you're playing wrong game. Battlefield has never been about unicorn sprays and anime titties on assault rifles. It's always been one in corner with a slightly more serious tone. Bit gritty, bit muddy, still has occasional mad moment with C4 Jeeps, but it ain't dress up Barbie with bullet physics. If you want your operator to look like they've just escaped circus, there's plenty of games for that. COD's over there doing hot pink skins and cat ears and tactical thongs. Go nuts! Now to Too Outlandish crew, pull your camo pattern socks up. This ain't armour. It's not meant to be full milsim. Battlefield 6 kit is inspired by modern operators, PMCs, counter-terrorist squads. And yeah, even airsoft weirdos will think they're on active duty in suburban Nottingham. Point is, it's stylised. It's near future. It's believable, even if it ain't realistic. It's grounded enough. Like that drunk mate who can still find his keys after 10 pints. And let's not pretend actual operators don't personalise the gear. You think everyone on deployment looks same? Nah, you've got lads rocking different gloves, patches, helmet covers, some with beards that make a Viking blush. Real life's messy. Uniformity only exists in boot camp and IKEA. There's a tweet comment from Boogie Boy. Perfect example. Real Marine. Loves direction, has reasonable critiques, don't cry about masks or neon trims like it's end of civilization. Even rated one at cringe skins as 7 out of 10. That's called perspective, lads. Take notes. And to Blue Tiger Mask Meltdown crew, get your heads wobble. If a splash of colour and an airsoft mask make you lose faith in Battlefield, you were never in it for gameplay. You were in it for fantasy appealing tactical. And if you're that desperate for realism, go join the Milsim Discord and argue about barrel lengths with other neckbeards. Bottom line is, Battlefield 6 is walking a tightrope. It's got just enough grit to keep realism fans happy, and just enough flair to let rest of us have a bit of fun. And unlike some woke-washed paint-by-numbers shooter from Ubisoft, Battlefield 6 ain't preaching. It's just letting us play WoW with style. So yeah, both sides of the argument are full of shite. Play a game, shoot people, wear whatever digital camo makes you feel sexy, and stop acting like wardrobe is more important than warfare. Cheers, Pyro, for bonus rant opportunity. You really opened a can of worms there. This next one comes from Daniel Camera 2965, who asks, my question is, as EA is now cleaning their acts, do you think we can dream again about Titanfall 3? Now, first off, you stop dreaming? Mate, Titanfall 3 is one of those rare unicorns of gaming we never give up on. Like Half-Life 3, but with more wall running and fewer crowbars. Yeah, it looked bleak for a while. Apex came in, swept up Titanfall bits, chewed them, spat out Battle Royale chunks, and left core fans hanging like Titan with no pilot. But here's the thing, dreams don't die unless you let bastards kill them. EA's cleaning up its act. Finally, they've stopped acting like Bond villain at industry and are now at least pretending to be human again. Vince Zampella, legend who built Call of Duty and birthed Titanfall, is now steering EA ship like a grizzled old sea dog who had enough of microtransaction bollocks and wants to bring back actual games with soul. It's already sorted Battlefield 6 out. Brought it back from brink. That alone proves he's got magic touch. Now Titanfall, that's his baby. And if there's any moment where that baby could come screaming back into the world with a chain gun and an attitude problem, this is it. Sure, EA going private means they'll be even more obsessed with bottom line, but here's rub. If there's enough noise, if rate people scream loud enough, if streamers, devs, content creators and every pilot still out there clutching the smart pistol just won't shut up about it, money boys will take notice. They always do. And then all it takes is one conversation. Hey, Vince, Titanfall 3, make it happen. Bang, dream back on. So yeah, Danny, never, ever stop dreaming. Keep bolting up Titanfall 2. Keep talking about it. Keep showing the world that there's still a legion of pilots ready to drop in. Apex didn't kill the franchise, kept it on life support. Now it's time we bring it back to life properly. Cheers for the question, mate. And here's to every dreamer still waiting for that Titan to fall from the sky one more fucking time. Right, now we have 4 from our mate Ages444, who loves to challenge me with his questions. Here's first. Where does your loyalty lie? Are you for Emperor, or are you Chaos Lover? What sub-faction of Primarch would you fit into in 40k? Now let's get this straight. My loyalty? It ain't to Golden Throne. It ain't to Warp Gods either. My loyalty is to result, to what works. You want to survive in that universe? You don't pick sides like it's Hogwarts. You play it game like a bastard. So yeah, Alpha Legion. Always has been. Always will be. Why? Because they don't give a toss about glory or medals. They care about winning, even if it means no one knows they won. The fate wars where enemy don't even know there's a war until it's over and they've lost. That's my vibe. Tactical manipulation, hidden lands, misdirection like a fucking stage magician with a bolter. Get in, get out, leave your enemy arguing with their own command chain while you're halfway across the galaxy with a smug grin and a clean blade. And best part? I am Alfarius, which means I can be whoever I need to be, whenever it matters most. You lot can have your Lionel Johnsons and your Gillimans and your traitor Primarchers with the daddy issues. Me, I'm Whispering Box. Last face you see if effort crumbles from inside. Yeah, Chaos, Imperium, the two cheeks at same ass. I'll side with whoever gets humanity out alive, even if it means taking a few demons for a walk while Emperor takes another nap. Next question then, let's have it. As an avid horror fan, how do you feel about Reanimal? Reanimal, yeah? Mate, that one's been sat on my wish list like a loaded shotgun just waiting for it click. Soon as that trailer dropped, it gave me the same goosebumps I got first time I saw long creepy arm bastard in Little Nightmares. But this time, it dialed up, darker, grimmer, nastier, and I'm all in. Ain't cracked demo yet, but it's lined up for my Halloween bloodbath binge. Every year I dive into something twisted, and this year it's going to be that brother and sister trauma train through hell. And let's be real, Tarsia's on it, you know it's going to look like a Tim Burton fever dream had a bastard child with Silent Hill. Co-op angle's interesting too. Shared camera, tight spaces, nowhere to run. That's psychological warfare, mate. That's trust under pressure. Perfect for friendship ruining neats with your mates or your sibling who still owes you for breaking your PS2 back in the day. What I love is that phrase they use, horror we hope. That's a rare breed in genre. Most horror games are just misery porn and jump scares. But when you inject a glimmer of redemption, suddenly everything hurts more. You're not just trying to survive, you're trying to save someone. That's what hooks me. And those creature designs, twisted childhood memories made of flesh, broken innocence distorted into monsters. Classic Tarsia move. Take something familiar and ruin it in a way that makes you uncomfortable in all best ways. So yeah, mate, Reanimal's not just another spooky romp, it's a contender. And I've got a gut feeling it's going to sit on throne next to Little Nightmares, Inside, and Detention as one of slow burn, anxiety-inducing horrors that sticks with you long after you've turned lights back on. Bring it on. Next question. Hey Scotty, I'm a borrower from Yahtzee and see what you think of it. If sequels were to disappear and vanish, no more sequels, no more Thief 2, Sander Time, no Halo 2, no more Black Ops 6, could you live with that? Yahtzee's reasoning is that all devs and publishers would have to put more personality and creativity to make sure a game don't flop, and it would be a unique game every time. Now that's a hell of a philosophical wank grenade you've lobbed into the room, and you're right to borrow it from Yahtzee. Man's a sharp-tongued oracle with taste of chaos. But let me tell you something, he's wrong. Not completely wrong, but wrong in that smug idealistic way that only works in echo chambers and pub debates. See, no sequel means more creativity ideas sounds good on paper, till you realise most of the gaming industry can't even spell creativity unless it's got a trademark symbol next to it. You remove sequels and yeah, publishers would panic. Not 'cause they'd be forced to be creative, but 'cause they'd have to gamble. And they fucking hate that. Sequels are security blankets that comfort food of capitalism. They give devs breathing room to innovate within something familiar. That's why Assassin's Creed 2 were better than 1. Why Halo 2 were a godsend. Why Resident Evil 4 changed bloody genre. Without sequels, you're just stuck with a graveyard of interesting failures and mediocre one-offs that never get chance to refine themselves. You want every game to be a unique snowflake? Then get ready for a lot of broken, unpolished shite that dies before it learns to walk. Because making a masterpiece on your first go is rare as fuck. Most games need a sequel or two to become great. Here's the thing, originality's a lie. It's all remixing. Every new idea is someone else's leftovers with a different spice rack. Storytelling's been on rinse and repeat since Cave Bastard drew a mammoth getting speared on a rock. Jaws becomes Beast. Westworld evolves into Jurassic Park. Every song you've ever loved shares its DNA with 100 others. Games, same bloody deal. Titanfall's COD in mechs. Apex is Titanfall minus good bits. PUBG stole from a film. Fortnite stole from PUBG. Warzone stole from them all. It's theft all the way down. Even Battle Royales, which every 12-year-old thinks Fortnite invented. Go back to bare-knuckle free-for-alls for amusement to powdered wigs and sadistic toffs. Before that, people bashing each other in 17th century pubs. Even further, literal cockfights. That's your legacy, kids. Fortnite's just ye old chicken blood sport in neon leggings. So if we banned sequels tomorrow, we'd still get same bollocks, just with a new title screen and slightly rearranged menus. So nah, I could survive in a world without sequels, but it won't make games better. It'd just make them more disposable. And instead of building on greatness, we'd be stuck in an endless cycle of half-assed originality and forgotten potential. Creativity don't come from absence of sequels, it comes from desire to evolve. And sometimes best evolution is just a better version of what already worked. Next up, mate, let's keep this train rolling. This is gonna be philosophical and dark, complex and deep. But for context, I'm a fan of George Orwell's books, and his interview on YouTube really spoke to me when I first saw it. Animal Farm is a classic, but 1984 is a warning that I feel a lot of people didn't really take seriously or understand. In his interview I watched, he were asked about 1984, and his answer was, "Don't let it happen." I believe that we are deep and terrifyingly accurate. His prediction was that we've reached that point where we're living in 1984 right now, and it's deeper than ever. Online Safety Act, price of everything rising while minimum wage is barely enough to survive. Over-reliance of AI in almost every facet of society and life. So I ask overall, are we living in a 1984-esque world? And if so, how deep are we in it? You dark philosophical bastard. You've just happened to do what most people are too scared to even look at. And I fucking respect it. 1984 ain't just a book anymore. It's a bloody roadmap. And yeah, we're deep in it now. Not full plunge yet, not strapped to a chair with a rat cage on your face. But boots are marching. Big Brother's already set up his CCTV nest on your phone, your telly, your smart fridge. You've got Online Safety Act, which on paper sounds like it's going to protect kids and keep weirdos out of your DMs. But in practice, it's a censorship wet dream. Slippery fucking slope, that. Start with protecting vulnerable, and before you know it, you can't call a politician a twonk on Twitter without a digital statsy knocking at your door. AI? Bloody hell. What were once helpful tools now morphing into digital overseer of our lives. Not just in work, but in art, writing, education, even therapy. Machines deciding what's appropriate, what's allowed, what's true. Orwell warned us, controlled language, controlled thought. Well nah, they don't need to burn books. They just quietly unlist them from algorithm and let machine memory overload inconvenient. Cost of living, through roof. Meanwhile, people with power to fix it are too busy fiddling their expenses and flinging taxpayer money into black holes of corporate cronyism. People work 40 plus hours a week and still can't afford to live. It's wage slavery with a smiley emoji and a just eat discount code. And yeah, worst bit, complacency. That tired old tuner, my voice don't matter, that's real killer. That's what lets boots stay stomping. People who are too tired, too beaten down, too distracted by outrage culture, celebrity shite, TikTok drama to seek walls closing in. Truth is, we are living in proto-1984. beta test. Infrastructure's already in place. Surveillance, censorship, manipulation, and economy pressure. They don't need to brainwash us with Room 101. They do it through algorithms, outrage loops, and apathy. But like I said, we're not past point of no return. Not yet. There's still fate left. There's still people with fire in the guts and a brain in the skull. We need mass non-compliance. Real resistance. Not pitchforks and petrol bombs, but votes, signatures, strikes, boycotts, coordinated disruption. You want to topple a corrupt system? Hit it in wallet, make gears grind to halt. But it takes unity, and it takes belief. So yeah mate, we're in it, but it ain't too late to turn it round. Unless we sit here like good little proles, waiting for someone else to do it. Orwell once saying, be afraid. He was shouting, wake fuck up. Cheers for the question, brother. Last one needed saying. Right then, quick update on my personal projects. Let's take a breather from chaos and focus in for a second. Progress on my game's a bit slow lately. I've not really pushed much forward there, simply because most of my time and energy's gone into something even bigger. Finishing first book in my fantasy horror trilogy. That's right, book 1 is officially done, and I'm already deep into writing second. Current plan is to spend around 6 months finishing up book 2. Once I'm close to wrapping that up, I'll release Thurston. That way there's only a short wait between releases. If people enjoy Thurston, they won't be waiting a year and a half for follow-up. I want to keep momentum going. Now, a lot of research has gone into this project. Even though it's fantasy horror, I've made a point of grounding it with a bit of realism to keep things believable. I didn't want to lean too far into nonsense. Needed to feel real enough to pull you in before it rips your guts out. As for publishing, I've not made a final call just yet. I'll either go traditional route with a publisher, or I'll self-publish through Amazon Kindle. I'll keep you posted on that as we get closer to release, and I'll definitely let you know where to find it when it drops. Now, quick news flash for all you loot goblins and bird freaks. Escape from Duckov has only gone and flapped its feathered ass to 1 million copies sold on PC and Mac, just 5 days after launch. That's right, a duck-themed top-down survival RPG is currently one of Steam's most played games. Developed by Team Soda and published by Bilibili Games, Duckov launched on October 16th and racked up 200k sales in 24 hours, 500,000 by 19th, and smashed peak at over 220,000 concurrent players. Absolute madness! And it's still climbing, so what hell is it? Imagine if Escape from Tarkov and Don't Starve had a baby, and that baby were a gun-toting duck on an egg-shaped planet that's literally falling apart. It's single-player PvE, with base building, weapon customization, and fog-of-war mechanics. Quirky, yeah. Addictive, apparently very. Even better, it's got mod support, which means communities already breaking it in alt-right ways. And it's still 12% off until October 30th, so if you fancy some chaotic waddling and loot grabbing, now's your time. Fair play to Team Soda. Turns out bird what word? Right, retroheads, gather round, 90s are back, and they're not fucking about. A1200 has just announced a full-size resurrection of one of the most iconic home computers of early 90s. Built by Retro Games Limited in partnership with Play on Replay. This ain't no mini toy, it's real deal. Full keyboard, full mouse, full nostalgia. Coming off success at A500 Mini, A1200 is ready to bring back golden age of pixel art, floppy disks, and absolute bangers like Beneath the Steel Sky, Turrican, Rough and Tumble, and Defender at Crown. It's launched in June 16, 2026, priced at $149.99, and it comes loaded with 25 classic games, HDMI out, USB sideloading, save states, works. Pre-orders go live November 10th. If you grew up in the 90s, or just wish you had, this might be the closest you'll get to a time machine without breaching laws of physics. Full details on retrogames.biz. Now, horror freaks and landmarks, Don't Scream is back, and this time you're dragging your mates in with you. Don't Scream Together is expanded cult version of Viral from Digital Cyber Cherries. Same mad lads behind Hypercharge Unboxed. It's got new game modes, bigger maps, and one terrifying twist. If anyone screams, you'll all restart. Up to 4 players stumble through forest with camcorders and proximity voice chat. Whisper too loud, you're done. And new Haunted mode, scream and you come back as a twisted hunter that stalks your mates using voice alone. It's like Blair Witch meets Among Us with a noise complaint. You'll find dynamic scares, secrets, battery hunts, and even voice-triggered chaos where a laugh, a burp, or a fart might cost you all run. Launch date's not confirmed yet, but you can follow devs and wishlist game on Steam. If you thought horror was scary solo, wait till you hear your mate shit himself in surround sound. Now tune in and don't look away. Long-awaited supernatural thriller Radiolight is out now on Steam and GOG, with a cheeky 10% launch discount. It's set in 1985, deep in Erie National Park or Ashwood Creek. You play as a lone cop tracking the disappearance of a park ranger and a boy named Elliot. What starts as a quiet night turns into something much darker. Static whispers, things in trees, and a radio that hears what it shouldn't. Made entirely by Czech solo dev Christoph Nessel, Radiolight takes heavy inspiration from Firewatch but dives headfirst into supernatural. It's got stylised retro visuals, a gripping story, and just enough paranoia to keep you backed at wall. Mystery, suspense and static fuel fear, all waiting in woods. Radiolight is out now. Go play it, but don't trust what you hear. Congratulations, you're hired. To reject other people. Thank you for your application is a narrative interview sim where you, a fresh-faced grad, finally land a role at Aeropolis' biggest corporation. Catch? You're not climbing ladder, you're sorting through resumes, crushing dreams, and sending out thank you letters to folks who didn't make cut. After 15 interviews, they've decided you're not what they needed, but you're perfect for their junior interviewer role. Cold? Yeah. Accurate? Also yeah. Expect resume vetting, emotion evaluations, and life management help, from daily job requirements to shopping in city you're not allowed to leave. It's a satirical take on late-stage capitalism, with a bleak smile in the clipboard. Make choices, shape your story, break cycle, or done. Thank you for your application launches in 2026. Demos up now on Steam. Just don't scream during your lunch break. It's a performance violation. Now, back to your questions. Fixer2616 asks, what's your opinion on that new Pokémon game getting destroyed by internet negativity? Right, let's get one thing straight. I wouldn't say destroyed. Not really. New game got 79 on Metacritic, which, yeah, ain't exactly golden number you want on a AAA title, especially not one carrying Pokémon brand, but 79 ain't a death sentence. It's not destruction, it's more like a disappointed shrug. I went through user reviews myself, started with negatives, and honestly, they all read like they were copied from same angry Reddit post. Same complaints, same tone, like one miserable sod wrote script and everyone else Control-C'd their way through it. Then I looked at positives, and those were a bit more varied, a bit more thoughtful. People acknowledged some bugs, some polish issues, sure, but still saying game's worth a shot. That says more to me than a mob or internet echo chamber warriors screaming, lazy devs, every 5 minutes. Now for context, I played Scarlet not too long ago. First Pokemon I've touched ever since Colosseum on GameCube, so I came in fresh, with no expectations. And I honestly didn't see all worth crying over. It were fun, it worked. That's kind of whole point, innit? But let's address all whinge and all no voice acting thing in Legends Z. Oh, for fuck's sake. None at mainline Pokemon games have ever had voice acting. Not one. If that's your deal breaker in 2025, then you've clearly missed point at franchise. It's not meant to be this high budget cinematic RPG experience. It's Pokemon. If you suddenly need voiceover work to enjoy catching a shiny Weedle, then maybe, and I said this with love, maybe Pokemon ain't your thing anymore. And that's fine, but don't drag restaurants into your disappointment because your personal wish list wasn't ticked off. So yeah, thanks for the question, Fixer. Solid one. Now I'm curious, what did you think about it? Let me know, and we'll keep chat going. Alright, next question comes from Ends Plays Official, who asks, Hey Scotty, best flavour of Pringles to have? I'll be honest with you, I'm not a Pringles guy. I ain't touched stuff since 2014, maybe earlier. Just not my thing. But, lucky for you, I've got a Pringles connoisseur right here in studio. So we're going to hand this over to Liam, aka Kuromukira, and get real verdict. Let's give him a call. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm alright.
I got a question for you.
Right.
Are you a twonk?
Yeah.
Excellent. Now I've got another question for you and I need your honest answer.
Right.
Alright, my mate Ends Plays says, Hey Scotty, best flavour of Pringles to have?
Ah.
What's your opinion as our Pringles connoisseur?
My opinion, I'll have to say the Texas barbecue flavour.
The Texas barbecue flavour, is that the absolute must-have? Is that the one that if all Pringles were to be eradicated for the rest of eternity and you had to survive on only that flavour of Pringles, would that be the one?
Yeah.
Excellent. That's all we needed to know. Thank you very much, Kuromukira.
No problem.
Right, quick channel update for you legends. We're now at 1,886 of you wonderful people on YouTube. Proper appreciated. You've taken time to hit those buttons, leave comments, join in on madness. And that means world. Big shout out as well to channel members. James Lima, Debacle, Verkinel, Scott Caesar, Mayhem and Tonyist. Viva la Resistance, as always. I know comms from me have been a bit sparse lately, but being real with you, I've been head down getting content sorted, juggling that with my other projects. But we're picking things back up. Coming up, news videos Monday through Friday, right here on YouTube. Short segments will hit TikTok following day for your mobile scrollers. UK game sales top 10 will drop Monday or Tuesday, depending when GFK pull the fingers out. And yeah, Hey Scotty podcast will be back next Sunday. Mark it. Plenty to come. Cheers again for sticking with me. Like, subscribe and all that bollocks. Drop your comments and questions below. And I'll see you next time, you magnificent